being here this morning, guys. Feeling really optimistic about everything. As in all good things, we're going to start laying down. So I'll go ahead and bring myself to the ground. Look, I went right into the desk, which is kind of nice. And then I want to go ahead and start with my hands on my pelvis. I want to take a nice deep breath in through my nose. I'm going to exhale, and I want to relax and kind of melt into the floor. And breathe in through your nose. And any we don't want to waste our potential. Exhale, like ever. And a nice deep breath in again. And exhale. Good. Now, I want you to think about your purpose for today. Some people have got no sleep and still showed up, which is so cool and rad of you. And so when I don't sleep, I want to set the intention that's a little different than when I slept 10 hours and I have so I want you to think about what it means for you today. And while we're here, I'm just going to rock my feet back and forth as I'm kind of inhibiting or going inside of my body instead of just making something happen. And then I'll go and stop, and then I want to do ankle circles. So what does it mean for you to show up today? First of all, I'm proud of you for showing up. Showing up is honestly the hardest part. And then go ahead and go the other way. But what is, for me today, I'll set my intention for you guys, and then maybe you guys can play off of that. Good. And then I'm gonna go ahead and point flex. I'm gonna flex my feet and curl my toes, waking up the feet. Good. Before I go on with word direction, I want my intention today is just to do something for myself that I'll feel good, that I'll be proud of myself for. And the quality, I'll do the best I can, but the quality won't matter because I still showed up for myself. And I hope that you have an intention like that for you too. Okay, so as I'm talking through your body, you'll be able to do it and think at the same time. So just think about why you showed up and what that means for your greater good of humanity. I'm gonna go ahead and flex my calves. Please relax your shoulders as you do this work, okay? Let everything melt to the floor. And then can you flex your shins? And I want you to be inside of your body, okay? So that way as we go through things today, it's more meaningful. I'm going to flex my calves, flex my shins. And then can you squeeze your quads? And then can you flex your hamstrings? And then I'd ask you to squeeze your inner thighs and then your IT band area. I know that's kind of crazy, right? So do that again. Go to your quads and then your hamstrings and then your inner thighs. And then your IT bands. Now, can we take a moment to talk about how ridiculous it is it's hard to actually squeeze your IT bands. It's easier to squeeze everything else, but our IT bands are always tight. Let's just talk about how crazy that is, but it's true. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and go to my lower abdomen region. And I want to thank it, because if we hate it so much, I don't want you to hate it. I want you to love on it. This is so important. It's the bowl that carries kind of all of our organs. So what I want you to do is I want you to kind of give it a nice little massage, okay? Give it some love, kind of massage it a little bit. Good. It creates so many functions, and aesthetics are just one part of it. So as I'm going through today, I'm just kind of loving on my abdomen. This is kind of our squishy area, as it should be, and so we're taking our musculature to support where the bone structure is not, okay? Just a different way to think about this. So now can you take your hands on your hips? Can you press your heels down into the ground, and can you make this nice and flat? And then can you breathe in, fill your belly up? I never say that, but today. And then can you lift up toward your throat and make it flat? And then again, big breath in. Can you press into your heels, engage your glutes, pull this in flat, and then pull your chest in? Good. So see, we started by massaging it. We started by turning it on. It's nothing aggressive. It will get there. We'll get there. But we just want to I want you to feel yourself before you take it outside of your body. And then go ahead and move to your ribs. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale and pull your ribs down towards your waist and funnel it in. And press into those heels again so that you have this energy coming up and this energy coming down. So everything comes to the middle. And then again, one more time. And relax your shoulders. Good. So again, the power is inside of you. You have everything you need. Everything external is just us fine-tuning our engines, okay? So everything you need is there. And then go ahead and squeeze your middle as tight as you can and poke it. Now it's harder to massage this way, and that's what we're looking for. We're just looking for a sustained, strong core on guard whenever we need it. Okay, so then I'll go ahead and move up to my shoulders. I'm gonna go and take one hand out to the side, and then I'm gonna flip it and flip it just to move. My arm is actually a little bit tight here, so I can feel it stretching. If you're not tight, you won't feel much, and that's probably okay. All right, that's actually really good. I'm gonna take my hand a little bit overhead now, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna kind of flip, and then I'm gonna reach it up by my ear. Oh, that's a little tighter, and I'm gonna flip. And then I'll do the same thing with my other arm. If that felt good, or if you want to leave it there, you totally can. And then I'm gonna go ahead and stretch this out and feel. Well, the reason I give you options is I want you to play. I want you to explore, and then I'll go up at an angle. I want you to know your body so that when you go get massages, when you go do on walks, when you're sitting in the car on car rides, someday when you're in an airplane again, you know your body and you know what's normal and what's not normal, and you know how to get the help you need when you need it. And you know that because you spend time showing up and checking on yourself. Good. And then I'm going to go ahead and take both hands up one final time. I'm going to do a good morning stretch. Good. And then I want to go ahead and relax my arms kind of like in a cactus, and I'm going to shake my head no. Good. That's not so bad. Good. So we started at our toes. If you remember, we were talking about our intention. Now we're up at our heads. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and bend my knees in. Before I get started moving, I'm going to take my hands, if it's okay with your hair. I don't know whether your hair is set up. Don't mess it up too much. But I'm going to go ahead and massage the back part of my neck. A lot of times we hold tension here. I think this is very common and popular. So I just want to address it. And what we're doing when you touch on something or you massage it is you're pressing it down. You're saying, not now, not now. It's like a small child, not now, later. And you're able to like give it that self-love instead of saying, why are you so stupid and always do that thing? Because we don't talk to ourselves like that. That's not helpful. We say, love you. We don't need you right now. Now we can work on other things. See, it's a nice Tuesday. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and go to my hip bones. I want to be sure, I don't want to guess, because we have this time and we're making utility of it, that I'm sitting on my tailbone and I'm not sitting on my pant line, because pant lines can make this iliopsoas go up versus being neutral. And again, I love Pilates. The reason why I kept going is because they would say these words to me and I was like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. And then one day I felt it and I was like, oh, and I hope that I keep saying things and eventually you kind of find those little epiphanies that kind of make sense to you, okay? So again, I just promise you sitting on your tailbone will be the best. And then I'm going to put my hands on the front of my hip bone. I want to press into my heels, not so much to lift up, but enough that I want to make sure this doesn't fire. If the muscles in the front of your hips fire, that's because your psoas is trying to do your butt work. Welcome to the club, been there, done that. So I'm going to keep checking in on this thing. And even when we finish class, if you ever lay in bed, you're just like, I wonder. This is just something really simple to work on and resetting yourself. Okay, and again, I do that as a simple reminder that my heels are going to hold my pelvis steady as I go to flex up later. And if I am pushing my hips into my hip flexors, it's going to be all hip flexor, and then your back will get tired, and that's kind of how that works. Good. So beat a dead horse. We got it. I'm going to go ahead and take my hands behind the nape of my neck. Before we curl up, I want to breathe into my lungs. I want to fill up the floor with air. And then I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to relax my shoulders. I'm going to fill up the back of the room, or the floor, and I'm going to relax my shoulders on my exhale. And this tells your body, when you're in a stressful time, that the parasympathetic phase to tell your body that it's okay to relax, that you're safe, and that you're in control as much as you can be. And now this time you're going to take a nice deep breath in. Sitting on your tailbone, you're going to go ahead and curl yourself up. I would like you to check out your hardware, make sure everything's where you put it, where you massaged it, made sense of it, and then lengthen back out. I'm going to exhale, I'm going to curl up, and I'm going to lengthen back out. And I'll come up for 3, and down. Exhale, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now sitting on your tailbone, you're going to give little pulses for 8, 7, 6. I want to be cognizant that I have space here and I'm not on my neck. 7 and 8. Now I'm going to stay curled up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just lift my left heel and I'm going to set it down. Just starting. I know it's like we do in bridges. And as you do so, I want you to think of leveraging up in here. I'm going to go 4, 3, 2, and then I'm going to keep that heel heavy, and then I'm going to take that same leg and I'm going to open it to the side, and I'm going to curl up and squeeze in tight. I want to get heavy on this other side without squeezing the psoas. Good. Or the hip flexor. That's kind of a more cool term. 4, 3, 2, and then I'm going to take that same leg and I'm going to slide my heel out. I want to curl up a little bit, and then I'm going to pull it back in, curl up a little bit. I'm going to slide out, curl up a little bit, pull in, curl up a little bit. I'm going to go 4, up, up, 3, curl up, and curl up, 2, curl up, last one, and then back in. Alright, so I'm going to set that foot down. I'm going to do the same pattern on the other leg. Super easy. So I'm just going to lift my heel and set it down. I want you, when you lift your heel, it's like you're pretending like you're going to lift your whole leg up, but you actually haven't done it yet. So you're getting everything ready. I'm going to go 4, 3, 2, and I'll take that same leg and I'm going to open them up to the side and I'm going to squeeze in. And I'm trying to keep this nice and quiet. And again, it's just self-regulating that I'm not like all or nothing. Everything has its purpose and we're utilizing that. 4, 3, 2. I'm going to call it like A-B so it's not confusing. So I'm going to give a little curl up. I'm going to push my heel out and I'm going to curl up and pull it back in. I'm going to curl up, push the heel out, curl up, pull it back in. That's 2. I'm going to curl up, 3, curl up, and back in. Up, 4, up, back in. Up, 5, up, back in. Up, 6, up, and in. Curl up, reach, curl up, in. Just one more. Curl up, reach, curl up, back in. Okay, and that's, you probably guessed it. So we're gonna do the same step, but we're gonna do both legs. So I wanna go ahead, without doing like the Michael Jackson and scooping under, I'm gonna sit on my tailbone and I'm gonna lift my toes to my tiptoes and set it back down. I wanna curl up, lift to my tiptoes and set it back down. 3. So the weight is shifting into my front kinetic chain. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I'll set my heels down. I'm going to let both legs go open, and I'm going to curl up and pull in tight. I'm holding my head. If your neck were to get tired, though, you can set it on a foam roller if you have one at home, or you can set it on the floor. 3, 4, belly button comes in flat. 5, no poofing up the middle. 6, and if you do, that's okay, but take a second and rest, and then figure it out. You have it. You can totally do it. Good. All right, and then this is my least favorite. I'm going to curl up. I'm going to send it out. I'm going to curl up. That's not so bad. And pull it back in. There's one. I'm going to curl up, send it out, curl up, pull it back in. And again, 3, out, 3, and back in. Still sitting on your tailbone. 4, out, 4, back in. Good job. 5, out, 5, in. 6, out, 6, in. 7, out, 7, in. Last one. 8, out, 8, and good. Now I'm going to stay in this curl up position, but we're going to go to our glutes, okay? I'm going to stay in this little, imagine like yourself as a banana, and I'm going to tuck my tailbone, and as I do, it's going to make me lay my head down. Take a breather, push your elbows down, and then can you roll down and then curl yourself up into flexion? So I'm going to come up, I'm going to go all the way to my tailbone, and then I'm going to switch like I'm a boat, and then I'm going to roll back down. And curl back up. 2. Inhaling and exhaling. I'm kind of making my way across this floor. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, slow and meticulous. And last one. 8. Okay, now I'm going to bring my bridge back up. I'm going to leave my head on the ground. And I'm going to happily swim my arms so I don't have to hold my big, beautiful brain up. I want to get cozy. My legs were like this. That is begging for my hamstrings to cramp. So I'm going to stack them under like a tower, okay? Kind of as a reset. And then what I want to do is I'm going to pretend like my knees are tweezers. And I'm trying to get something. So I want to bring my tailbone down a little bit, and I'm going to bring my inner thighs together and back down. My knees are little tweezers. Relaxing your neck and shoulder. 3, 4, 5, 6. Good job, good job. 7 and 8. And then I'm going to do pelvic tucks. So I'm going to tuck under and then relax. Tuck under, just a different way to recruit the glutes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm going to go back to some of those patterns. I'm going to go ahead on this leg. I'm going to lift my toe and back in. I hope that registers your brain to squeeze inside of you. 3, that core is still like, oh yeah. 4, 5. So we're going to do the same patterns. 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm going to set my heel down. I'm going to open that leg and I'm going to squeeze and pull back in through here. Good, connecting the worlds. 2, 3. Relax the shoulders. 4, if they're like clenching at all, that happens. 5. I want to turn my toes straight. 6, sometimes I try to have them roll out. 7, that's kind of funny. And 8. And then the last thing, I'll get really solid on that other leg is I'm going to slide it out and then pull it back in. That's kind of crazy. I'm going to try to straighten that bottom leg, but maybe if he doesn't go straight for whatever reason, that's okay. 3. So like if he just does that, that's cool. 4, 5, 6, ooh, 7, and 8. See, legs are so helpful. They really get your core and your glutes. So then I'm going to go ahead and go to the other heel. I'm just going to lift it up, which means I have to work hard on this side. 2, 3, 4, and I want you to think of like the organs not being all pushed down into your pelvis. I know it's not like a cool visual, but it does help. Take some pressure off. All right, I'm going to go ahead and leave the heel down, holding nice and steady here. I'm going to open, and I'm going to squeeze shut. I'm going to inhale, open. My toes are facing forward. They're not rotating out. 3, 4, 5, pushing through. 6, 7, and then the last finale here is I'm going to extend that leg out and pull it back in. Woo! 2, and back in. 3. My hamstring on this side is like, do you want help? And I'm trying to tell it no. I'm using my brain, my intention, telling my body what I want it to do. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then I'll set myself down with some ease and control. And then to kind of love on our hamstrings, right, because we were just testing the waters there, is I'm going to go ahead and bring my legs up. I'm going to fold them in, and I'm going to give a hug. If this clips your hip flexors, back off a little bit, okay? Good, but if it doesn't, if it helps stretch out your back, that's what I'm looking for. But if your hip flexors are tight, sometimes it'll clip them. All right, as we proceed to go on, I'm going to go ahead and take my back leg. I'm going to take it straight. I'm going to take this leg up at tabletop. We're not doing anything really sporty, but I want you to, you can twist, but it'll be more back. I'm going to keep my tailbone down, and I'm going to try to cross over. So I pull on this IT band and this like hamstring area. Well, hamstring, yeah. Good. And then take that same leg and you're going to open it up to the side. We're going to get athletic. Maybe. Yeah, feels right. Okay, I'll set that down, and then I'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to, I crossed it, but without twisting fully. We'll do that at the end. And actually, this is my lazy butt side, and I get a lot more side seat personally. This is so silly how simple this is. And then I'll open up to the side. Yeah, and when the quads and hamstrings are not like playing the game, it just gets complicated. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my hand behind my knee pits here, like your armpits, but your knee pits. I'm going to press into them, and I'm going to gently, I'm going to press and reach to straight, and then I'm going to bend. I want to start loosening this up. We've got the core on, we've got the backside turned on. Now we want them to work in harmony, and I'll go 4, and I'm kind of blocking those knee pits so I don't hyperextend. 3, and I can really centralize. 2, and 1. And then I'm going to give a little pull with my biceps, pull with my biceps. You can always soften a little bit. 3, I'm still getting some hamstring leg lengthening. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm kind of tricking you because now you're going to do reverse crunches. Same idea, okay? Squeeze, lengthen your hamstrings, and you're going to pull from your core now. Yeah. Press into your hands. 2, 3, 4, 5. I kind of honestly am cheating because I have a bouncy floor. 6, 7. That's kind of a bonus. And 8. Good. Now just to play with the ankles, I'm going to take my knees. I'm going to send them to one shoulder. So I got to give a little twist-a-roo. And then I'm going to curl up for 8, 7. And again, you could totally bend a little deeper. 6, 5. I want your quads to be shut off. 4, 3, 2. And then, of course, we'll send our knees to the other side. Other side. Lift. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And now go back to the center. And then, again, use your hands as needed. If you need props, if you feel it in a place that doesn't feel gratifying, it's not serving you. It's honestly mental junk mail, okay? So things you could do is, I don't have my foam roller. I gotta be honest with you. But if you put that foam roller under your pelvis, or if you put a pillow there, if you don't have a foam roller, put a pillow. Pillows are more comfortable anyways. That way you can work on utilizing it. But again, fighting yourself, it's mental junk mail. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and bring my hands to the side so I'm steady. I'm gonna take my camera leg, I'm gonna open it up to the side, and I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze myself back in. I'm gonna inhale and exhale. 2. Now we're gonna start getting into that athletic stuff. 3. But I wanna make sure we set all the terms to set ourselves up for the best case scenario. And I'll go 4. I'm looking for a little bit of a stretch here. 3. And I'm looking for stability here. 2. All right, so now I'm gonna broaden my shoulders wide. I'm gonna squeeze up the middle, and I'll take both legs to one side. There's that twist, and I'm gonna squeeze. I got a few pops, so it's kind of nice. I'm gonna inhale to twist, and exhale, pull myself back in. 2, 3, broadening the shoulders. 4, I'm trying to bring my knees almost to the ground. I don't know if I can. 5, or should, I guess. 6, 7, and 8. And then I'll start single leg to the back. I'm going to open and squeeze shut for 8. Now, some of this is like inside. I can feel inside of me that's pulling in. If you need to use your fingers to like make that happen, that's a really helpful tool, especially when you're still kind of figuring it out. 4. But I'm feeling that when my leg comes in, this gets thicker, like in a good way, not like the Oreo way. Good. And then I'll go ahead and squeeze both, and I'll take both to the side, and then I'll squeeze it back in. See, and double leg is like so much more obvious, right, than single leg, but I think single leg is so helpful. It's like it sets the course. 3. I'm going to lengthen the back of my neck. 4, 5, 6. These ceilings are really crazy here. These look like space ceilings. 7. If you were curious. And 8. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my hands down, palms up, and I'm going to bring them up towards the ceiling. I want to broaden my shoulders, like not by my ears, not all the way towards my waist, somewhere in the middle and wide. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my right arm. I'm going to bring it up by my ear. I'm going to stretch and then bring it back up, and then I'll switch. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to push my ribs to the ground. I'm going to inhale and exhale. If your feet need to go down, you can, but I told you better put yourself on a prop so it doesn't make your quads tired. And I'm going to inhale for 4 and up. 3, squeeze. 2, yeah, and 1. Now we're going to add this dead bug motion, opposite arm, opposite leg. So I'm going to toe tap, I'm going to reach, and then bring it back up. And I'm going to do the same side. We're going to add a little choreography to this. Same side, and reach. Good. 3, 4, 5, 6. When you extend out, can you really put like a brick is on here? 7 and 8. And then I'll switch to the other side. So I'm going to tap 1, up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't see myself. I hope it doesn't look super crazy. 7. Good. Now, with my shoulders spread, I'm going to squeeze up the middle, and I'm going to toe tap both down and back up, which is why if you're propped up, you're a genius, because that's kind of easier. 2, 3, and I'm staying stable because I'm not like in a roly-poly. 5, 6, by the way, stable is not easier. 7, and 8. Now I'm gonna glue these here. I'm gonna swim my hands behind my head, and I'm gonna inhale. I'm gonna curl up for 8, 7. If your legs need to go down, they need to go down. 6, 5, 4, but I'm stubborn. 3, 2, and this is where we start our series. I'm gonna stay curled up, and I'm gonna go ahead and toe tap. I'll start with my camera leg. Toe tap and lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to take that same leg and I'm going to boop the floor. I'm going to send it out. I like to boop and then pull it back in. I'm reaching. This opens on my hips here, 2. And again, we usually do this with this leg down. 3, if that feels better, please do. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to keep that leg straight and I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to go up. If you happen to be propped up on a foam roller, I'm sorry, I didn't give you a good adequate warning or pillow, but if you were, you would keep your head down because that would make more sense and you get a little more length there, okay? 4, 3, 2. Now we're going to add on today, we're going to go into leg circles, okay? That's 8. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down. I'm going to split at the bottom just if you're on the reformer. If that it makes your hips crazy, do it with a bent leg and that'll be a lot, like, I'm telling you guys, hamstrings and quads are crazy in the hip socket. And I'll go 4. So bent or straight. 3, 2. And I've got to reach out of my kneecap or out of my toes so that I'm pulling my leg out of my hip socket. I'll go the other direction. 1, 2. I know my limits, and I got my nice little circles. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other leg. Okay, so I'm going to tuck them in, and then I'm going to start by toe tapping and bring it back. Remember that that option is to set that leg down or to be propped up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, slow and steady wins the race. 8, and then I'll take that free leg. I'm going to send out. I'm going to boop the ground for 1 and back in. 2, 3, 4, nice. 5, 6, 7, and then I'll keep the leg straight and I'm going to lift it up and then bring it down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then we get to do those pretty circles. 1. This leg is heavier today. I don't know what the deal is. 8, 7, 6, 5. I needed this. Thanks, guys. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then one final thing is I'm going to reverse it. 8, 7. I like smaller circles this way. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and I'm going to happily grab behind my legs, pull myself in so I get a little relief from the front part, and I'm going to rock and roll. Man, being on camera for you guys, I'm like, don't look miserable. Don't do it. Okay, I'm going to rock a little bit. That was challenging. If maybe that doesn't feel good to rock that way, sometimes going back and forth a little bit, but I just kind of wanted to get some of the work out of the front side and to give you a little something to push on the back side. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and go to our bellies, actually, to switch it up a little bit. So I'm going to do a little roll. And then I want to go ahead and work on trying to think the best way.
let's do the old-fashioned way because it works really good, and I like to stick with what's good instead of like forcing something. So we're gonna do glute work like this, but we're gonna go on to our force first. So let's do counts. If you guys would go onto your elbows, hold your beautiful tight core in. This is also good for opening up those hips because we were right at that hip crease. I'm gonna pull my arms apart. I have these cool grid lines. I'm gonna take my camera leg, I'm gonna tap, and I'm gonna lift up for 8 and down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'll hold it up and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna extend the leg. I'm gonna set it down, and I'm gonna lift by squeezing the backside for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'm gonna hold it up. I'm gonna point, and I'm gonna circle. I'm drawing big, lengthy circles for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'll reverse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'm gonna go ahead and prop my arm up. I'm gonna open my hip up, and then I'm gonna flex my foot and pulse out for 8, 7, yeah, very good, 6, 5, 4. We're not gonna do the whole sequence. While you're here, you're like, I've been here before, this is stupid. I know, it is crazy. We're not gonna do the whole thing. Last thing I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and swing your leg forward. Can you do it without, and then kick back? Can you do it without sitting back in the hip? Can you stay tall and only go as far as you can and squeeze back? And again, 3, 4. Try not to let your pelvis get really rocky. 5, and just accepting what your range is. 6, that's a lot for me, is acceptance. 7, and 8. And then we'll tuck it all back in. And we're gonna go to the other side. I'm gonna stay facing this way because it's not very long-lived here. So I'm gonna go on all fours, and then I'm gonna go and take one leg. I'm gonna tap and lift for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'll hold it up and pulse. 1, 2, good. Way to raise the roof. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna extend the leg. I'm gonna tap it down and lift for 8, 7, 6, 5. Relax your shoulders. 4, 3, 2, and then I'm gonna hold it up. I'm gonna point and reach, and I'm gonna circle, reaching out, energy through the toes. Good. 3, breathe, pull your ribs in. 5, like you have a little corset on. 6, 7, and reverse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, good. 3, a little higher now. 2, and 1. And then I'm gonna straighten the arm. I'm gonna flex the foot. I'm gonna pulse up for 8, 7. I want a little behind my body. 6, so my glute fires. 5, 4, 3, 2, and again, I'm gonna keep my hips steady, and I'm gonna go forward and back, allowing myself to stretch, and back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. And then I'll bring my knee back in. Now, can you go back onto all fours onto your hands? I want my arms to be under my chest, not under my clavicles or my shoulder bones. And then can you, without moving your knees, can you push your knees apart? And see, can you still feel that glute work a little bit? Good. And then what I want you to do is pretend you're in Chicago. You're in that big, tall building where you can see all the way down to the city's floor. There's like where you can step out on the platform and see down. I want you to push away as if you don't want to fall down. Push your knees apart. Hold your core nice and steady. Good. All right. So those are kind of the stabilizers that I want to work. If those aren't on, it'll go to your low back, and then now you would just rest. Okay, that would be a good thing. I'm going to go ahead and take my knees back. I'm going to bring myself forward, and with dignity and grace, I'm going to lower myself down nice and slow. Good. All right. So So now that we could feel something, hopefully you felt something, I'm gonna rest my head and then I'm gonna push my left leg into the ground and I'm gonna lift just my right thigh, but I'm squeezing from here and I'm pushing my pocket down and I'll set down. I'll do the same thing. I'm gonna squeeze. Maybe you can even close your eyes so you can feel it and look for it within yourself, right? So I'm gonna go 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then over to the other side. And again, this allows you to identify if your hamstrings are trying to like do it. And I mean, of course your hamstrings are connected and they're in there, but we just don't want it to be the leading force, and being able to like manage that inside of us is like a superpower. 2 and 1. And then learning. So like let's try something else. Can you turn your toes out a little bit? And if your toes were already out and I like called, then drop them in. Try something a little different. And then can you press and lengthen? Now I'm gonna press into my left leg again, and I'm gonna lift my right leg with my toes out a little and set it down. 2. Unless something pinches, and then all bets are off. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'll switch. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. Now we're going to get fancy. So pick the one that you like the best, okay? Toes in, toes out, wherever. And then I want you to push both pockets down. I want you to put your hands underneath your belly button. I don't want you to squish your belly button if you can help it. And I want you to pull it up towards the ceiling. So again, pelvis is tucked under, belly button's up, and then can you lift both thighs and set it down? And lift, and you will feel if you fill up your hands with your belly and try to keep it hovered in. It feels like you're contradicting what's supposed to happen. 4, and unfortunately that's correct. 3, 2, and 1. And can you swim kick? Kick. Good. Okay, we're gonna keep that brief. I'm gonna go and set it down. I'm gonna bend. I'm gonna bring my heels together. I'm gonna take my knees apart a little wider. Same concept here, but I'm gonna get my hands more comfortable. And then can you lift your thighs up a little bit and down? Can you squeeze, lift, and down? 3, 4, 5, nice. 6, 7, and 8. And that is important because now, oh my gosh, I love this one. Take your thumbs by your armpits, and I'm gonna roll my shoulders back and send my elbows to the ground. Squeeze your butt. That should get you some lift. And then, you know, like when we bridge, I want you to roll yourself back down. And then I want you to inhale into your chest. I want you to squeeze your butt and lift up, and this should help. Back down. If this does not feel good, don't worry, we're almost done, and you just stop and you skip it. You drink your coffee and you watch. And I'll go for 4, and back up. Push into the tops of your feet. 3, get your glutes fired. 2, and 1. Okay, so we're all at home, right? We're all just playing. So this is called swan dive. I know some of you have done this. So what this will look like is I have to be active. I'm gonna go ahead and push. I like to clear my pelvis a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. And then what I'm gonna do it fast. I'm gonna roll back down, lift my hands, and push. So I keep that little shape. Or you can say no thanks, so. Or you can laugh at me on the screen, and that's okay too. You can also do it from your knees instead of lifting your knees all the way up. But this is a playful glute back extension core stabilizing thing that's so good for you. I'll do one more. Oh, so good. Okay, so I'm gonna take my knees apart. I'm gonna go ahead and press back into child's pose and stretch it out. And for the record, I couldn't do any of this when I was like 23, okay? So I present it because, like, with a playful spirit, because it's kind of cool when you start surprising yourself. And I'll bring both hands to one side. And I'll stretch it out. And then I'll bring it over to the other. Good. And then I'll bring myself back into the middle. And then we're going to do a little bit, let's see. I'm trying to figure out which one to pick. We should do it. We should do it because we should end really strong. So I want to do push-ups. Well, like, I mean, nobody really wants to do push-ups, but I think it would be good for us. Gotta be honest. So I'm gonna go ahead and take myself out, and I'm gonna lower myself. Feet are good, knees are great. But what is the most important, and I want you to self-regulate. Don't worry about me. I'll set the timer. I'll do my best. But like, it's better without this. What happens, what sets us up, is we go forward and we dive, or we kind of go like with our butt up, and that makes you strong like this. So more than anything, work on lifting your sternum up a little bit, lowering yourself. And if like this is as far as I go, then I can just like, that's how you get intimate with yourself, is like you're just like, okay, that's what it is. Oh, I say quality versus quantity, but sometimes nobody knows what that means. So I just want to be very clear. And for once in my life, because I knew it was going to be here, I charged everything so that we did not, so we're all prepared. Oh no. Sorry, Gio's kitty book is on here. Okay. So reverse push-ups or regular push-ups, it depends on where you are, or, what? No, close. Okay, so I'll explain. Other than that, you can do wall push-ups. You can do anything, honestly, but those are the things I think would be good for an overall healthy body. So I'll go ahead and start the timer. So my hands are straight, and I'm gonna lower myself to the ground and back up. And I'm working on consciously pulling my shoulders down my back. Actually, yeah, keep going. Chelsea, you do the lat push down on the circle. This would be a good one. 4 on one side, 4 on the other. Sorry, I just thought that would be good now. Good, and one rest. So, for a little change of scenery here, I'm gonna turn my hands on the inside. Ugh. Yeah! Well, that was short-lived. On the feet, now I'm on the knees. That's okay though. Yeah, I like doing this with this drill too. You can also do core work with this, but I like arm work. It keeps me more motivated. So I'm gonna turn my hands out, and I'll lower myself to the ground. Now the intensity you give, guys, totally up to you. I'm here to help guide, but I want it to be effective. I don't want it to be like, you know, trying to get stronger like that. I want that long body. I want those shoulders. I don't want to hurt. Humans are finicky. We want to be challenged, but we don't want it to be too hard, because then you know, your care meter. Okay, so I'm gonna do, you can do regular push-ups again, or I've been introducing dolphin, where my hands are in front of me and I bring my elbows down and push up. Or whatever. And I say that with sweet comedy, because the first time I ever tried a dolphin push-up, I was like, not happening. Okay, so I introduced them, but if you try it and that's not. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to normal. Where I'm under my chest, my sternum's relatively up. I can kind of push up now, like this, but I used to do like this. Oh. Okay, so if that's where you are, girlfriend, this is me. I'm your teacher. Okay. And then we just have 3 more times. Fingers in, fingers out, and dolphin or a variation of your sort. Fingers in. I'm trying to keep my sternum up. My fingers in sometimes makes me want to go into that. So being really, trying to be conscious on purpose. It's not too much. Just 20 more seconds. And rest. We were talking this morning about how people underestimate how hard it is to push a body around. Like, it's hard. Like, weights are cool, but bodies. All right, fingers out. Even so, where I made the comment that I think it's interesting, people start working out again, they go lift weights, but they can't like hold their own body weight, which is, you know, interesting. Cause like, that's how I was trained. I couldn't do a good push-up. But I was like pushing like 40-pound and like more barbells, and I couldn't even do like, yeah, it's funny. All right, I'm gonna get through this dolphin push-up now. Hands are relatively in front, down. Oh, and if you haven't seen Modified Dolphin, you can also add a twist to kind of help you get there, okay? This is really good for aerialists or like muscles in general, but good. Good. And unbelievably, we are at the stretch part. And I say that because I hope today was like not like something you regret. Since I know people, I don't know, I'm proud of you. And I want you to leave class and be like, feel good about yourself. And I kind of want you to be like, that wasn't that bad. So like next time you think about signing up, you're like, cool, I'm for it. So I'm gonna start laying down to stretch, kind of like I promised you. Good. And then as you're going through stretches, if you have mental extra, still, okay, for example, I can stretch like this, but if I tighten my core and lengthen, it gets me more than just over. Okay, so you don't have to, but I just want to bring that up. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and bring my legs in. I'm going to hug them in a little bit. And then I'm going to grip at the tops of my knees. I'm going to kind of stir the pot. This is really more about your low back than anything. My low back isn't tight, so it doesn't stretch much, but I still know it's good. I went ahead and reversed. Good, a little less aggressive too. I'm gonna, with my hands on my knees, I'm gonna take my legs, I'm gonna stretch my inner thighs. Since I'm not extended fully legs, it's not a lot of like hip flexor or knee or too much hamstring or knee. Good. Okay, so then I'm gonna go ahead and take one leg straight. I'm gonna hollow out through here, and I'm gonna allow myself to twist and bring it all the way to the floor if you can. And then what this does is it pulls this open. So I'm gonna turn my palm up and I'm gonna reach my anti-Netflix muscles, the opposite of Netflix. And then for kindness on my back, I'm gonna slide the leg back in. I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna keep the leg straight, and then I'll twist it over. I'm still gonna hollow out the best that I can, and then I'll reach back to get a stretch from here as well. If you need to play with your angles to get more, please do. I want you to explore that. Good. And then I'll bring it back in, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start combating my hamstrings. I'm gonna go in between my legs on the outside of my feet, and if you can, pull down a little bit. That'll help open up your hips. Of course, if some of this doesn't feel good, or if you can't reach, oh my gosh, if you can't reach, girl, bend there. Grab ankles or grab anything. Grab a hamstring. Ugh. And then what I'd like you to do is give a little lengthening and see how I clearly rock. It's probably gonna take me down at some point. But I'm not, because of hamstrings are morning hamstrings, I'm working my way to go to a straight leg, but I'm honoring that if that doesn't feel good, I don't do that. Other things I've seen people do, but I don't know if it's too much work for you guys at home, get like a kitchen towel. You can grip your foot and it gives you that little bit of extension. But then you have your kitchen towel and your family's like, why do you have a kitchen towel on your feet? Because. And then if you can, lift both legs up. Great time for a foam roller if you have one at home. Put it under your pelvis. See, now my body just does it. As long as it feels good, again, on the foam roller or not, I'll put my hands to the side. I could keep going with my hands up, but I want you to have stability. If you could, fold yourself in half and let it stretch out your hamstrings and your low back. So this is the opposite of your legs on the floor and you going forward. Say extreme opposite. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring myself up to sitting, and then we'll kind of go into that realm. I'm going to take my legs out, but it's a different feeling, which I think is really cool. I think it's cool because like we're told that if you do something that it works, but there's so many ways. I think that's the real gift. It's just been like, And so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and use my hands behind me, and I want to allow my pelvis to do my pelvis things. I want to figure out where it is. Hey. Good. So kind of figure out where you want to be at. Good. And then I'll go ahead and bring the bottom. Oh no, I'm going to stay like this. I'm going to go nose to toes one direction. Matt, I'm literally almost done, so you can be loud. I'll be done in like a few minutes.
I'm just grabbing some too.
Are you okay? Also, your speaker is so cool. And I'll reach up and over.
I'm pretty happy about it.
And then I'll go ahead and go the other direction, nose to toes. And then I'll go ahead and bring my shoulder in front and I'll reach up and over. And then if you could, allow yourself, so we talk a lot about sitting on the pelvis, and I still care about that, but I also want to feed that need. If you want to go ahead and allow yourself to round forward, maybe even go down to your elbows. And even more so, if you want to try and ink your forehead towards the ground, you can cheat if you make your hands like that. Whoop. And eventually. And then I'll go ahead and bring the bottom of my feet together. I'm going to pull my shins back towards me. I want to sit up tall and lean into it a little. And I'm really thinking of like my legs being out. You're like, obviously, Hillary, I know, but you know, sometimes they do get kind of stuck up in that butterfly thing. So just kind of like lengthening out. Now we massaged your stomachs earlier, kind of still pressing through. And then allowing yourself to kind of like reach up and over through the crown of our heads to create space. And while you're here, could you still think about breathing? Think about where your breath goes. Maybe go to your belly. And then exhale and pull the air out of your belly. And then play with it. And maybe can you send the air to the back of your lungs? And hollow out your belly and breathe. And just play. And which one do you think gives you the most extension of your spine? And I kind of know some answers, but like I want you to think about, like, what does that feel good for you? Or does it like, ugh? All right, so now we did a lot of folding half. I'm gonna cross my ankles. I'm gonna go onto all fours. We're just gonna lead me into stretching out my calves. So I'm gonna get my hands underneath me. I'm gonna press up, and I'm gonna pedal one leg at a time. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Good. And then to finish, I'm gonna go ahead and bring one leg in front to stretch out my hip flexor. So the more down you go, the more it'll be this leg, and the more up you go, more hip flexor. I think it's kind of nice. Yes. And then I will switch to the other side. I do both just to check in. Okay. How'd we do? Perfect. Your time is super precious, so I don't ever want to steal. And I know it's kind of hard to stay sometimes motivated to work out at home, but I'm so glad and proud of you guys for being here and doing the things. Here, I'm going to angle this up a little bit now. Yeah, thank you guys. Do you have any questions? You feel okay? Was that okay? I wanted to make it feel good, but not be boring. There's a line. Good. Okay. Well, you guys are wonderful. If you guys have any suggestions or thoughts, you just know I'm always open. But other than that, I hope you have a great day, okay?
Thanks. You too, girl.
Bye.